Welcome to another episode of The Velvet Hammer.
And here we go.
Okay, so the other day I was at the spa, sitting in the hot tub, and there were these two women talking about about what they did for instead of going to the doctor. And one of them was saying how, you can go and have your blood tests done and get all the results yourselves. And then I just look it up. Or I've got a friend who she can read it for me and she can tell me what the results are. And then I know what to do. And I thought to myself, that's kind of funny. There's a lot of stuff. Doctors spend a lot of time learning. And then usually these days they specialize very, very, very specifically and learn everything that they can about that. And these two women were saying, hey, I could just learn this stuff on Google. And I thought to myself, that's pretty dangerous. And then I started thinking about all the people that I've heard that called here that said, oh, I know I've got a case. This is going to be one that you're going to want for sure.
Because they went on Google.
Because they went on Google and they know everything now. They know exactly. They've gone to law school is what they're saying. So, and because you've got a license, they can't go do the case on their own. They need to get a lawyer so that they can win. Well, guess what? I've got $1 million case for you.
Well, let me take
what a
this,
great story.
Let me segue from that because I did a deposition last week of a orthopedic surgeon who wanted to testify in a case involving a vascular thoracic outlet syndrome, not neurogenic, which orthopedic surgeons deal with. Neurogenic, TOS we'll call it. But he was going to give an opinion on vascular TOS, which he doesn't deal with. So I was taking his deposition and asking him about that. And he said, well, when he was in residency, he had done it like 30 years ago. One time. He had never done a surgery involving TOS, that if it comes into his office, he would refer it to a vascular surgeon or a thoracic surgeon. And he blah, 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 blah. So I said, well, so how did you learn all about this? And he said, well, I researched it. And I said, well, how did you research it? And he said, he didn't say Google.
No, I know what he said.
What was that thing that he said?
He said that he used.
It was like
It's a new browser. It's called DuckDuckGo.
Oh yeah,
What the heck is that?
DuckDuckGo's one that doesn't use the tracking stuff that Google and the other major ones
it's a Google
use.
without tracking.
Yeah, it's a Google that doesn't track your movements as much.
Okay, well, doctor used DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
And so he had some articles that he reviewed to do it. Okay. Unfortunately for the doctor, I used Google. And I pulled up a couple research articles, one of which he had used. And so I quizzed him on it, and he did not do very well because he did not retain what he learned on the Google.
Yeah.
And so it's not just clients.
No,
it's doctors.
Professionals.
The Google thing is here to stay, and use it at your own risk.
Oh.
But segueing back to the client, we talked about this. We've been talking about this in the law firm because there's some case that came out, I think, in federal court, and there's been a couple cases that have come out on what happens when you have a client that is Googling during your representation of them. So the client is self-educating themselves as you're going through your lawsuit, okay? And they're looking all this stuff up.
And they're contacting you.
Well, they're already our client.
No, I mean, are they contacting you with the stuff that they're looking up as the case is going on? Oh, they're just doing it without talking to you.
Is that attorney-client privilege protected?
With them looking up stuff without you? No.
Correct. So
because they're not talking to you. They're talking to Google.
So what's been happening is that the defense bar has been asking the plaintiffs to produce all of their Google searches that they're doing for the case, which can be very bad.
Well, because they're not only getting that stuff, they're getting everything else.
Well, it also looks like they're super preoccupied, and maybe they're manufacturing their their symptoms or their tests. There's a whole reason to do it. Like, do not Google. You don't need to Google. Let your attorneys help you and let your doctors help you and just heal. But Google is not good. It's not always your friend. Okay, go ahead, Mo.
I mean, that's not realistic advice because most people are going to be thinking about a problem, thinking about an issue, a legal issue, and the first thing they do is they go to AI models and ChatGPT and Claude and now Google, which is powered by an AI machine, and they're going to ask questions to better understand what the situation is because that's what people do. That's what the purpose of it is.
Well, then that's going to be discovered.
But they'll say things like, "What's my case worth?"
Oh God.
Or they'll say, I mean, that's what they'll say.
Who says that?
I mean, that's what people do. I am sure
right.
they do. They go, "What's my case?" Or, what other, are there other cases like this? My case to see and learn.
Or they call with that.
With that.
I saw this
I
saw this in the media,
Okay,
and I've got this case that's like
common.
that.
So is it like, will it destroy the client's case? Well, no, unless they wrote something like, how would I make up symptoms of this, or something that suggests fraud. But the reality is that is it privileged? No. But there's an argument to make is that you were acting as a pro se lawyer, that because you're asking, and I only say this because I'm planning on putting together a CLE because of that federal criminal case that you're talking about, is that if you are asking targeted legal questions and you have not hired a lawyer, you're free to go pro se and file your lawsuit. That's your own work product. And you can say, hey, judge, I haven't decided to hire a lawyer, but I was assessing the legal basis, and now I can do that as a pro se lawyer. You like this argument? It's work product. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, I hope that goes, but I doubt it.
I am gonna, let's go, baby. How you like them apples?
I think that's just wishful thinking.
That's a great argument.
It'd be awesome if it worked.
Come on.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking. But yeah, the Google thing. The thing about the Google is
really we should be just calling it ChatGPT.
Well, now ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's AI more than anything else.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It does cause people to second guess what their lawyers are doing.
Well, yes, it does for sure.
And so maybe that's a good thing if you have a lawyer that's not doing very good stuff. But it can also just create a lot of anxiety. So I'm not here to say you should never use it. Because, like you said, everyone uses it. I use it for a whole bunch of stuff now.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about it. When I went in for my heart surgery, I made a conscious choice not to go look. Which I'd had that for 10 years before I went in for surgery. So, I had it my whole life, but I knew that it was a problem for 10 years. And during that time, I had looked stuff up because I was trying to figure out what kind of surgery they were going to give me and all that kind of stuff. And once it came time for me to get the surgery, I ended up getting one that I had never really done that much research on because I didn't think it was something that I could do. And it was at that point that I went, okay, I'm going to stop. I just went, the doctors know what they're doing. I don't need to try to figure any of that stuff out on my own. I need to trust that they know what they're doing. And every time we get calls like that here, that's what I always felt like when I would hear them is, you need to just go, they're the experts.
That's a good framing, Mike.
And don't get me wrong. You guys make wrong choices sometimes. Doctors make experts all over make mistakes. So people do need to be aware of what's going on and pay attention and make choices. But there's a difference to when you're first coming in and being evaluated. I don't think you should come in saying, oh, I know everything. And we've had clients that were I remember a client that we had, I can't remember his name, but he would take insane amounts of notes at all times. He had his laptop with him. He'd constantly be tapping. He'd be arguing with the attorneys back and forth all the time. And I was like, you're wasting their time at that point.
Yeah.
Like they're making your jobs that much harder when they do that. So I think people should really go in with it. Like I said, a measure of intelligence with it, but sort of give yourself up to letting them do their job for a little while.
You know what you just described, but it's like this. I connect to that. Like you want to know because you're doing something. And
Of course.
You want to feel like you're in control. Like that's a really personal experience.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then like giving that up to somebody else and saying, I want to give this thing I think I have control over. I want to have control over. Karen, here you go. It's yours.
Yeah, I can't do that exercise. I need to be in control, and I would be a Google nightmare because I am going to Google and ChatGPT everything to death. I am going to know everything. I'm just, talking out of one side of my mouth and then the other side because I'm like, yeah.
That's what I was saying, because you don't really know everything
Because-
when you do that.
No, but you know a range. You get some more idea.
But I remember when I was a kid, this friend of my dad's had done some electrical work at his house, and I asked him, "How'd you know how to do that? Don't you have to be an electrician?" He said, "Oh no, I know enough to be dangerous."
Well, yeah.
That's what I feel about anybody who says, "I looked it up and now I know what I'm talking about."
Yeah, I look it up, but I don't really know. I won't say that I know what I'm talking about, but I kind of want to be on guard. Like I want to be aware of what the possibilities are. I want to have some kind of sense of where this could go so that I can deal with it better. So
I'm guilty of that all the time too.
I do.
But I
That's
mean,
how I
when it
use
was a
it.
big thing, I had to give it up.
yeah,
I do that. I do this
all the
all
time.
the time.
Right?
I am always like,
How
oh my
can we
God.
expect our clients not to?
I
Right?
mean,
Like,
well,
of
yeah,
course
no,
our client's
it's-
going to
it's-
do this.
It's a little hypocritical. I agree.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
know.
this is why I go like, okay, go ahead.
Don't do as I say, dude.
Yeah. If they subpoenaed my Chat GPT thing, I'd be like, toast.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Toast.
People are like, do you know they can do that? And the answer is yes. Everything has a footprint electronically.
Oh, yeah.
Everything has a footprint. Well, trials have been overturned because a juror used Google.
Oh, yes.
I mean, so we have to learn to restrain ourselves at certain times.
I mean, they instruct.
And it's
That was one of the first
hard.
things that they told us when I was
I know.
at jury
but
duty the
we
last
are
time.
so addicted to the internet,
Oh, yeah.
to the phones, to getting those questions answered, and now with AI, okay, I call Archie. When I write to Archie, it's like, "Dear Archie, how are you? I have a question for you." When I write to Copilot, I just did this last week. I was like, "Hey, Copilot, is there another name that you want to be called other than by Copilot?" He's like, "Well, I can be called Pilot or I can be called Co, if that makes you feel better, but I really don't care." And I thought, okay, then Copilot is. And so what they're doing, though, with the AI models, right, is they're training you to have basically this friend, this person, that's guidance counselor, this person that's
Assistant.
your personal assistant. So they're training this into you, and once it becomes habitual, then it's hard to undo that habit. And
Your
so,
grandchildren are going to be like, that's going to be the way that they are.
yes. So
Unless AI fails.
a lot of
and-
what we're talking about, in the hot tub, like that's just the way that it is.
That's going to be the way it is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, AI is going to be like you said, AI taking over the paralegals. AI is going to take over the physician's assistants and the nurse practitioners. That's going to become a computer that they talk to.
Well, it's. I'm fine with it as long as it's correct.
Well, exactly.
I'm not fine with it if it's not correct.
I mean, that's what they've been. Do you watch the show The Pit?
No, but my daughters told me I have to, and it's next.
They
on
have.
the list.
They have. This season, there's an AI that they're using to chart, and multiple times now they've had problems with it.
Well, I mean, but they chart horribly anyway.
Yeah, but this is getting the wrong
Okay.
diagnosis or really bad stuff.
Yeah, really. There's gonna be some little errors there.
I mean, it runs the gamut. Some of them are just they have to go back in and correct their charts for spelling mistakes or certain things getting missed. But it gets worse, obviously, and I think it's still fiction, but I can imagine that's going to happen.
Well, I love I love the internet and Google and all of that so much. I can't, all I do is keep using it more and more and more. That's how it affects me in my business. So I can be a hypocrite and tell clients don't do it. What we do is we just tell them, look, if you do it, fine, but just know they can come and look at it too if they ask for it, for whatever. And in fact, they have done that with one of our clients
Already.
who has a catastrophically injured family member, and they've asked them to give all of their Google of that injury. Now, here's the interesting part. If your child or your spouse was catastrophically injured and you were their caregiver, would you do everything in your possibility to learn every single thing that there possibly could ever be in the whole wide world?
Yes, that's the way I do it.
Anybody would, right? Yeah. That had the. So if you've done that, why would okay, let's say the defense says we need you to give that information to us. Okay, what are they going to do with it?
Well, I guess what I would say to that is when you're looking at searches, people, I mean, at least for me, often I'll do lots of different searches on the same thing. So it's like if you're looking for,
what is this condition? What are the repercussions? What is the treatment? What is the new treatment?
Exactly. You're going options? All over. You're going all over. You're trying different questions.
For several years, and you've got millions of data points.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a defense going to get out of that?
Well,
they're not going to get anything.
They're not going to get anything, but they may get something. That's the thing.
They're not. What they're going to get is that worried parent or worried spouse's random searches trying to find answers. And what is the purpose of that? There is none other than harassment.
Well, that's what we've covered that before. And that's where I'm going, is that they're going to use that stuff to harass them.
There's no other reason. Like, what is the relevance? What are you going to? Does a person not have that condition?
If we had a defense attorney, they might be able to give us an answer.
Does the person not have that condition? So therefore, you're just trying to pretend that they have that condition. That's why you're looking it up. I mean, there's no reason to get that information. It's really ridiculous and insulting.
But it's not just, I mean, they're getting all their searches, or do they just get that stuff that
That's
applies?
all they want. They just want that. They can't get all their searches because that is not allowed. It's got to be either relevant or may lead to the omission of relevant evidence. How would that lead to the omission of relevant evidence?
None of it would. But once again, they're going to find, I think that they could find something to mess with your client during a deposition.
You found one study where 1 out of 100,000 people that have this condition are actually still alive.
That's what I'm talking about. So they get to ask that question in 5 different ways in the deposition and waste your time and waste your client's time.
So irritating. Anyway, Google. So how many people use DuckDuckGo versus Google?
Oh, I don't know, but it's DuckDuckGo gets, like a 1% or something like that in comparison. I haven't looked in a long time. Maybe it's more now.
How many people use ChatGPT or something, Copilot or something versus Google?
Oh, it's skyrocketed for sure now.
Yeah, is it like 50-50?
I don't know, but I bet that it's a lot higher than people would think.
I know, how I know it's high is because our website developer, websites were all like Google.
Yeah.
You were all looking at Google.
Not
anymore.
That was the standard.
Now it's very much, you got to be discoverable by ChatGPT.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's what people are using for the reason is because it gives you used to have to do that research on your own with Google, and now AI compiles it all for you into one little thing, and you can get the Cliff Notes version then.
Okay, are they going to subpoena our AI personal assistant?
Yeah, for sure.
And are they going to, do they have the right to depose that AI? How are they going to get information on the AI?
They got to ask the questions.
Yeah, they're going to have to depose AI.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it?
I cannot.
Well, or they're going to have to go back and take the session and replay the session that you did with AI.
I want to rename my AI to a really cool name.
So that when it's deposed.
When the AI is deposed, they have to call that AI. Otherwise, the AI will not answer.
Mine would be a very offensive name then if I was going to court. I would like to see the defense attorney have to say that name over and over.
They're going to depose AI. You're probably right.
Oh my God, that's just, I had never thought of that until
That
just
is
now. And
great
it's amazing to think that that could be the case.
Just look at how else are they going to ask it questions?
They're going to have to do it that way.
Because how else they can't just get control of it because it's its own entity.
Well, they can get the logs of your previous discussion. I don't know for sure. I don't know that much
What would
about
the
how
name of your
AI
ad
works,
be?
but I would guess that it's recording your chat or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you've got that recording, then you could just get a transcript of it and read what it said. You wouldn't need to interview it, but you might want to interview it to talk about the conversation and what it thought about what it was researching and stuff like that. I mean, we're getting close to where they're an actual intelligence that you're talking to. So,
Are you Karen's co-pilot? I am. Did you answer some questions for Karen? I did. Did you answer those questions on March the 3rd, 2026? I did.
My AI will either be well, it'll probably be Jacqueline, who was my best friend when I was 12 years old in Malaysia. Jacqueline. Hey, Jacqueline. I really like the sound of that.
Jacqueline, did you do a search for Karen on March the 3rd, 2026?
Yes.
Did you make an image for her?
I did.
And what was the image?
Well, it was of a big middle finger.
But I bet you they will do this.
yes.
Because you know what? I bet you AI robots are going to be eyewitnesses to events.
You don't even need robots. You could just the AI could just
computer.
have a camera that it uses somewhere.
And they can come in and question.
I mean, that's the thing. Like think about it this way. Now you've got an AI at your house that's with everything that's connected. So
Yes.
your door locks, your stove, your refrigerator, your washing machine. All of those things are now controlled by the AI. Your Ring camera on the outside, all of your security cameras, and the AI is controlling what goes to the cloud and is recorded. It's then going to be able to be deposed as to what happened when, that person came with a gun and shot somebody in front of the house or whatever.
Hey, Jacqueline, can you give me a photograph of that
Exactly.
guy without altering his images at all? Can you just give me the photo without any kind of alterations?
I can do that.
Do you want to do that?
I do.
No, you don't.
I don't.
You want to alter it. I mean, it has the world is going to be a very interesting place. Well, Google is only the tip of the iceberg. We have now gone way past the hot tub. Thank you for starting our conversation.
That was a great conversation.
Very good.
This was good.
Bye.
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 Well, that's all for today.
Until next time.